Morning, good morning. Time for convening has arrived. The Senate will come to order. I will ask all unauthorized personnel to exit the chamber. I recognize the good doctor from the 1st District. The reading of the journal.
Good morning, Mr. President. Today is the first day of spring. Apparently happens around noon today. So we're so happy about that, and here we are on a good Friday. We have some great pages with us today. Fletcher Allman, Harper Battaglia, those are from Macon and Watkinsville. Tegan Brinson from Locust Grove. We have Iris Clevenger from Lawrenceville. Mr. Deju from Buford. Josh Elliott, Peachtree City. Jed Heinley from Rincon, Georgia, down in my neck of the woods, Effingham County. Ella Jensen from Grayson. Kyle Jensen from Grayson. I suspect they're related. Braxton Christensen and Jada Christensen, both from Loganville. Oliver Lynn from Alpharetta. Tate McGee from Sylvania, Georgia. Haley Miller from Winder. Avery Morgan and J.J. Morgan, and both obviously related there from Statham. Ellie Nedlin from Swanee. Elizabeth Rucker from Monroe. Teresa Smith from Woodstock. Mr. President, the journal has been read and found to be correct.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate that. And we greatly appreciate all the pages that are here today as well. We will. Senator from 42nd.
Come on, Mr. President. I move that the Senate reconsider its action in failing to adopt H.R. 251.
Senator has moved. Read the caption.
House Bill 251 by Representatives New of the 40th and others, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide that all probate judges shall be elected in nonpartisan elections, to provide for related matters, to provide for submission of this amendment for ratification or rejection, and for other purposes. Mr. President, that completes the order.
You want to speak to it? All right. Is there objection? All right, we'll put it. All those in favor of the motion from the Senator from the 42nd will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the motion for reconsideration, the yeas are 32, the nays are 5, and this motion has prevailed. Recognize the Senator from the 42nd.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate reconsider its action in failing to adopt H.R. 1243.
Secretary, read the caption.
House Resolution 1243 by Representatives Martin of the 49th and others, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize creation of the Georgia Next Generation 911 Fund, to provide for submission of this amendment for ratification or rejection, and for other purposes. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Is there objection to the motion? All those in favor of the motion will vote. Majority leaders, what purpose you rise?
I ask unanimous consent to excuse the senators from the 6th and the 30th.
Without objection, senators from the 6th and the 30th are excused. Senator, it still has to go on the board. All right, all those in favor of the motion will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the motion to reconsider, the yeas are 33, the nays are 10, and this motion has prevailed. All right, we're back on task here. Is there objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none. The journal is confirmed. All senators who have bills and resolutions, please bring your secretary's desk at this time. First reading and references of Senate bills. Mr. Secretary.
Senate Bill 627 by Senators Anna Vitarte of the 31st and others, a bill to be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Dallas ad valorem
State
tax.
and local government.
Senate Bill 628 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, a bill to be entitled an act.
State and local government, general.
Senate Resolution 1001 by Senators McNeil of the 18th and others, a resolution honoring the life.
Transportation.
Senate Resolution 1002 by Senators McNeil.
Transportation.
Mr. President, that completes the order.
First reading and references of House bills.
House Bill 1339 by Representatives.
State and local government.
Mr. President, that completes the order.
Secretary Reed, reports of standing committee.
Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Education and Youth has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 451, due pass by substitute. House Bill 634, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1114, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1220, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Hickman of the 4th District Chairman. Dear Mr. Secretary, pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.6, I hereby give notice that I will introduce a minority report to be read along with the majority report of House Bill 1220, which passed out of the Senate Committee on Education and Youth on March 19, 2026. Respectfully submitted, Senator Kemp of the 38th District. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Ethics has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 583, due pass by substitute. House Bill 963, due pass. House Bill 369, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Watson of the 11th District Chairman. Dear Mr. Secretary, pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.6, I hereby give notice that I will introduce a minority report to be read along with the majority report of House Bill 369, which passed out of the Senate Committee on Ethics on March 19, 2026. Sincerely, Minority Leader Senator Jones II of the 22nd District. Dear Mr. Secretary, pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.6, I hereby give notice that I will introduce a minority report to be read along with the majority report of House Bill 583, which passed out of the Senate Committee on Ethics on March 19, 2026. Sincerely, Minority Leader Senator Jones II of the 22nd District. Dear Mr. Secretary, pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.6, I hereby give notice that I will introduce a minority report to be read along with the majority report of House Bill 963, which passed out of the Senate Committee on Ethics on March 19, 2026. Sincerely, Minority Leader Senator Jones II of the 22nd District. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Insurance and Labor has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 1015, due pass. House Bill 87, due pass by substitute. House Bill 323, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Harbin of the 16th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Judiciary has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 304, do pass by substitute. House Bill 447, do pass. House Bill 1185, do pass. House Bill 460, do pass. House Bill 676, do pass. House Bill 1247, do pass by substitute. House Bill 1290, do pass by substitute. House Bill 267, do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Strickland of the 42nd District Chairman. Dear Mr. Secretary, pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.6, I hereby give notice that I will introduce a minority report to be read along with the majority report of House Bill 1247, which passed out of the Senate Committee on Judiciary on March 19, 2026. Sincerely, Minority Leader Senator Jones II of the 22nd District. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Regulated Industries and Utilities has had under consideration the following legislation and has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 641, do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Cowsert of the 46th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Rules has had under consideration the following legislation as instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. House Bill 445, do pass by substitute. Senate Resolution 432, do pass by substitute. Senate Resolution 834, do pass. Pursuant to Senate Rule 2-1.10b, the Committee on Rules has referred the following legislation from the general calendar. House Bill 328 to the Committee on Rules. Respectfully submitted, Senator Brass of the 6th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on State and Local Government Operations has had under consideration the following legislation as instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. Senate Bill 622, do pass. House Bill 847, do pass. House Bill 1452, do pass. House Bill 1484, do pass. House Bill 1504, do pass by substitute. House Bill 1530, do pass. House Bill 1503, do pass. House Bill 1515, do pass. House Bill 1527, do pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Dixon of the 45th District Chairman. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Secretary, read bills and resolutions for the second time.
Senate Resolution 927 by Senator Hatch of the 50th and others. Senate Pharmacy Benefit Managers and Consumer Access to Prescription Medication Study Committee, create. House Bill 413 by Representative Jenkins of the 136th and others. Agriculture, prohibit local ordinances that prohibit operation of mobile sawmills on agricultural land. House Bill 439 by Representative Zierta of the 152nd and others. Revenue and taxation, revised deductions allowed to dealers. House Bill 717 by Representative Cooper of the 45th and others. Medical Practice Act, regulation of the administration of psychedelic assisted treatment and therapy, provide. House Bill 944 by Representatives McDonald III of the 26th and others. Motor vehicles, federal regulations regarding safe operation of commercial motor carriers and commercial vehicles, update reference date. House Bill 1070 by Representative Hagan of the 156th and others. Income tax, increase and extend a credit for expenditures on maintenance of railroad track owned or leased by Class 3 railroads. House Bill 1085 by Representatives Petrie of the 166th and others. Income tax, various tax credits for forestry manufacturing facilities, provide. House Bill 1096 by Representatives Taylor of the 173rd and others. Public Health, Department of, provide that if certain employees of a county board of health become employees of such department, such employees will retain accrued annual and sick leave. House Bill 1129 by Representative Seabaugh of the 34th and others. Local government, designation of enterprise zones, provisions. House Bill 1161 by Representatives Lim of the 98th and others. Motor vehicles, proper operation upon approach by an authorized emergency vehicle or by a law enforcement vehicle for purposes of a traffic stop, provide. House Bill 1230 by Representative Jones of the 25th and others. Aviation, prohibit operation of unmanned aircraft systems over a place of incarceration. House Bill 1283 by Representatives Paintich of the 51st and others. Family Justice Center Act, enact. House Bill 1409 by Representative Camp of the 135th and others. Domestic relations, revised mandated reporting of child abuse. House Bill 1434 by Representatives Jenkins of the 136th and others. Aviation, air facilities, identification of airport affected areas, provide. House Resolution 1416 by Representatives Dickey of the 134th and others. Joint Study Commission on Generational Sustainability of Family Farms, create. Mr. President, that completes the order.
It is now time for the morning roll call. Are there any motions to excuse? Recognize the Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent to also excuse the senator from the 51st for business inside the Capitol.
Without objection, the senator from the 51st is excused. Recognize the senator from the 33rd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, y'all. I ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 5th for business inside the Capitol.
Without objection, the senator from the 5th is excused. Recognize the senator from the 18th.
Mr. President, I'd like to excuse the senators from the 50th and 29th districts by unanimous consent.
Without objection, the senators from the 50th and the 29th are excused. Senator from the 9th.
Ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 12th.
Without objection, the senator from the 12th is excused. Senator from the 8th, the senator from the 51st has already been excused, if that's what you're asking about. Figure I'd go on and take care of you. Any other motions to excuse? Recognize the senator from the 43rd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. I ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 26th.
From the 26th. Senator from the 26th, without objection, is excused. Any other motions? Secretary will call the roll. Senator, signify by your presence by voting the yay switch. Secretary, unlock the machine. It is now time for our morning devotion. All senators, please take your seats and cease all conversation. We have a special guest from Athens, Georgia today, and with that, I call on the good senator from Athens, Georgia, Senator from the 46th, to lead us in our pledge and introduce our pastor of the day. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please join me in the pledge to our nation's flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Georgia flag. Pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag, principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, moderation, courage. Special day for me today to be able to introduce my preacher from First Presbyterian Church in Athens, Dr. Ryan Baer. Ryan is a Texas boy, unfortunately a Missouri fan. You may notice his tie this morning. That is not a Yellow Jacket tie, that's a Missouri Tiger tie, but we converted him into a Bulldog here now that he's been in Athens since 2019. He's got an interesting lesson for us today. He's a Texas guy, but he's got Hall County roots. He's got his great-great-great-grandfather was from Hall County, Georgia, and actually served in the Confederate Army back in the day, got captured at Vicksburg. And he's got a long heritage. He had another grandfather that got captured in April of 1945, fighting in World War II. Fortunately, he was towards the end of that and was not a prisoner for very long. So he comes from an interesting family of essentially public servants and patriots. He's a fun guy, he's got great stories, and he shares my love for baseball. We're letting him have a sabbatical this summer where he's writing a book. He might tell you a little bit about it, but we have opening day in Little League in Athens tomorrow, and that's probably true a lot of places. So we've had nice chats about baseball, and he's going to share the Word of God with us. Please welcome my pastor, Dr. Ryan Baer.
Thank you very much, Senator Cowser. Friends, I bring you greetings on behalf of the members and friends of the First Presbyterian Church of Athens. We give thanks to God for your service to our state. We pray God's blessings upon you and your families. It is truly an honor to be here among you this morning. If you don't know Athens, we play a little football over in Athens, but we also play some baseball. Tomorrow morning, if you're in Northeast Georgia around 11:45, I invite you to come out for the Athens Little League opening day. Senator Calzert will be there cheering on grandchild and T-ball. I'll be cheering on my 11-year-old. And as some of you know, the Atlanta Braves Major League Baseball club is the oldest continually operating franchise in American professional sports. They began play in Boston in 1871, had a brief sojourn in Milwaukee, but since the mid-1960s, they have represented the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia and the South in America's pastime. In just a few days, their opening day will begin. And many of you may know a Major League Baseball season lasts for 162 games. That's nearly twice as many as a basketball season, nearly 10 times as football. Professional baseball is played almost every day from late March to late October, sometimes into November. And because the game of baseball is played for so long, at the end of 162 games, the final standings tell us something. Because any team can get hot for a week or a month. But by game 162, every team has dealt with injuries, bad calls, and bad bounces. Over time, because baseball is so long, the randomness gets filtered out. And so the large sample size of a baseball season means that the very best teams will statistically lose about a third of the games that they play. And even the worst teams will back their way in to some wins. What separates the best from the rest is what happens in those middle 54, as I call it, those toss-up games that could go either way. I have learned that in the middle 54, in those toss-up games, it's execution in the little things that makes the difference. In that middle 54, poise under pressure matters most. The middle 54 is where true greatness separates from mere mediocrity. And so I have learned in my career in ministry that the same thing is true about ministry, and I suspect the same thing is true about life in public service as well. I will confess to you, even the most gifted preachers have a bad Sunday every now and then. The Apostle Paul once preached a sermon so long and so boring that someone fell asleep on a third-floor window, fell out, and died. Look it up. It's in Acts chapter 20. Don't tell me this isn't a dangerous job. In ministry, greatness is not revealed by a preacher's greatest hits album. It's earned in those middle 54 moments, in those conversations no one sees, in those decisions that don't make headlines, in the small choices that shape things over time. And I have learned, and probably you have too, that a day can turn on how you respond to an unkind email. I've learned that a week can turn on a conversation you had in the hallway that brings sudden clarity and insight. I've learned that the faithful long work of listening carefully, of showing up consistently every day, either makes the play or it doesn't. In a long season, whether in baseball or ministry or public service, success is not measured by what happened in a single inning or a single day or a single month. No one is as good as their best moment. And thanks be to God, no one is as bad as their worst moment. Everyone goes through hot streaks and slumps. It's what happens in the middle that reveals the truth over the long season. Some of you may know that in baseball, to hit 300, to post a 300 season batting average is considered excellent. That's a benchmark. And over the course of a season, the difference between achieving that benchmark and not, over that long season, the difference is one more hit per week. Not per game, not per series, one more hit per week. See, over time, greatness, you know this, it shows up in the small incremental things. And you also know, and I know, and baseball players know, if you can't handle losing every now and then, don't play the game. Don't go into ministry. I imagine don't go into public service. No one wins every game. Still, best teams take the field knowing they'll win some and lose some, but they show up, ready to play every day. They show up in the excitement of opening day, in the businessman's special that Wednesday afternoon, 12:05 first pitch at Truist Park in late July. It's delightful out there. In the soft light of September, they show up. And over a long season, the truth has a way of coming out in the end. So I leave you with these words of encouragement this morning from the Apostle Paul, who wrote a letter to the Galatians, and he said this: "Let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for we will reap at harvest time if we do not give up. So then, whenever we have an opportunity, let us work for the good of all." Will you pray with me, please? Almighty God, bless those who hold office in the government of this state, that they may do their work in a spirit of wisdom and kindness and justice. Give them wise minds, discerning spirits, and a heart for the most vulnerable among us. For you tell us it is to such as these as your kingdom belongs. Amen. Thank you, friends.
If I could have everybody's attention real quick, if I could have everyone's attention. We got a special guest with us here today. We've got the former state senator from the 21st in Brandon Beach, now known as the Treasurer, the U.S. Treasurer of the United States of America, BLB, right here. So Mr. Treasurer, will you say a few words for us?
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. It's great to be back here in the Senate. I served 13 years here, serving Georgians and serving with y'all, and it was a great honor to do that. But it's also a great honor to serve you as your 46th Treasurer of the United States. And I'm really enjoying it. And I want to tell you, we're doing some great things up there. But before I say that, I want to thank the senator from the 15th. I know you're retiring, the dean. Thank you for your years of service. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Let me tell you what, I got up to Washington, and as you know, President Trump hit the ground running from day one. He signed several executive orders, and then Secretary Bessent and our team, we got working on tariffs to make sure the business community had an even playing field so that we could bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. And then we did something that was unbelievable. We passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, which was really 17 bills combined into one big ominous bill. And I will tell you, we laid the groundwork last year, and we're seeing the prosperity this year. I'm really bullish and optimistic about 2026, and I'll tell you why. One, it's our 250th year birthday. We're all Americans, and we should be proud of that. We're going to talk about American exceptionalism. We're going to talk about American pride, American spirit, and American success stories. I mean, I'm going to give you two success stories. One from here in Georgia. A guy named Jeff Sprecher moved here 30-plus years ago with $1,000, started the Intercontinental Exchange. Now he owns the New York Stock Exchange, several other exchanges. He's a multi-billionaire. That only happens in America. Number two, a native from Louisiana, where I'm from, but he actually went to the University of Georgia, and he wanted to start a restaurant, and he tried to get a loan from a bank. They wouldn't do it, so he went and worked on oil rigs for 2 years, saved $50,000. Now he owns a little company called Raising Cane's. He's worth $22 billion. Only happens in America, folks. Those are the kind of things we're going to talk about. That's what we should be proud of. Also, we got the FIFA World Cup coming. We're going to showcase our country to the world. And we're here in Atlanta. We're going to have 8 games. That's like 4 Super Bowls. And I'm very fortunate because we're doing the FIFA World Cup coins and medals. So I'm very involved in that. And it's been fun to be part of the FIFA World Cup. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill, like I talked about, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. You're going to see money flowing. Also, we're going to not just be oil independent, we're going to be oil dominant. After this Iran conflict's over, you're going to see the price of gas going down to $2 a gallon. And then the final thing we've got a new Fed chair. I met with Kevin the other day. He came to my office, and then we had dinner. And I will just tell you this, that interest rates will come down, and we'll have affordability for these young kids to be able to buy a house. GDP hit 4.4. We think it'll go to 5. And then since President Trump's been elected, we've had 53 record days on Wall Street. And about 3 weeks ago, the Dow hit 50,000 for the first time. So I'm very optimistic and bullish on 2026. I think we're going to have a good year. I think things are going to be great. And I will tell you this, one final thing I want to talk to you about is something called Trump accounts. If you have a child that's under 18, you need to go sign up. And you go to the trumpaccount.gov, you fill out one form, IRS form 4547. You know why it's called 4547, I'm sure. But I can tell you this, we're going to invest in our children. Our children will be invested in our country. We're going to teach them financial literacy. We're going to talk to them about compounding interest. Michael Dell put in $6.25 billion. The Lieutenant Governor was up there when we announced these Trump accounts. On July 4th, you can sign your child up. We've already had 4 million people sign up. This is going to be transformational for generations of wealth for our kids. So I'm really excited about that. It'll continue to really create capitalism in our country. So I'm very excited about that. Now I'll tell you one final story. I was very fortunate to do a lot of different things as a senator and as Treasurer of the United States. I went to Fort Knox. The gold is there, stacked to the ceiling. But I want to tell you one thing I did get to do. I was honored to strike the last penny in Philadelphia about 3 months ago. We eliminated the penny, and the reason we eliminated it, before COVID, we did 10 billion in pennies in production. Last year, we did less than 2 billion, but the price went from a penny to 4.5 cents. So my LSU math kicked in, and I said, this doesn't make sense. So we decided to eliminate the penny. I got to strike the last penny. After I struck the penny, I signed the authenticity papers, and we decided to auction it off. We thought we'd get 5 million for it. We sold that penny for 16.7 million. That goes back to you, the taxpayer. So we were glad to do that. That was a great thing to do, and I was happy to do it. But I want to end by saying this: just thank you for all y'all do for Georgia. And you know, we really need this year to come together and celebrate the 250-year celebration of our country, and realize how lucky we are to live in the greatest nation in the world. God bless Georgia, and God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Yeah, man. Thank you. Recognize Pro Tem.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yep.
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that the Treasurer, U.S. Treasurer, was my seatmate here in the Senate for 10 years, and I miss him every day that we're here?
Yeah.
But my question is this: do you think sitting by me is the reason he got elevated to the United States Treasurer, or is him sitting by me the reason I'm now the Pro Tem?
Well, tell you what, there's a lot of success in those two stories right there. A lot of success. There's just some of us in here just are happy that we can look at you both and say, I remember you when, you know. So, all right, look, we've got the Doctor of the Day. Doctor of the Day, come on up here so we recognize you, sir. But we appreciate having the Treasurer here. Brandon Beach is doing an outstanding job, and he's one of President Trump's favorite people inside the administration there. He asked me about, every time I talk to him, he somehow asks me about Beach all the time. So he loves some Brandon Beach. Recognize the senator from the 41st to introduce our Doctor of the Day. Senator?
Good morning, colleagues. It's my great honor and privilege to introduce you to our Doctor of the Day. It's Dr. Thad, Dr. Thaddeus Lynn. He is a native of Atlanta. We don't get a lot of those. Went to our very own Morehouse College, graduated cum laude with a bachelor's of science. He's a Morehouse man. Then he moved out to Ohio State, where he got his doctor in medicine at the school in Ohio State, and then he did his internal medicine internship at the Christ Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio, with a family medicine residency in New York. But he knew where home was, and so he made sure that he came back home. I'm honored to introduce him, but also he has his little doctor with him. His daughter today, who's 5 years old, Anastasia, is with him, so we welcome them. Please greet them. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here among Georgia's most positive and effective and efficient change agents. Thank you for the monumental work done to date regarding Georgia's health care. I'm Dr. Thaddeus K. Lynn, MD, a private practitioner at Thaddeus K. Lynn, MD, PC, located in Sandy Springs, Georgia. For more information about my practice of medicine, please visit drthad.com, DOCTORTHAD.com. I would like to thank the legislators of the Senate chamber for their hard work and service to the great state of Georgia. The physicians of Georgia care about our patients and also appreciate the efforts of our state legislators to ensure that a system of quality health care in Georgia is preserved and strengthened. The physicians of Georgia appreciate your sincere efforts to see that all Georgia's children, both young and old, be afforded the opportunity to have a life of longevity, filled with good health, prevention, and wellness. The physicians of Georgia appreciate your sincere efforts to create laws for the great state of Georgia that will continue to serve as a positive change agent that allow all Georgians to develop their vision of good health into a tangible manifestation that leads to a positive transformation. When I reflect on what is a positive change agent, I am reminded of a prism. You see, a prism is a transparent optical element that refracts, reflects, and disperses light into a band of colors, as seen in a rainbow produced by separation of the components of light by their different degrees of refraction according to wavelength. As a positive change agent, we thank you for refracting and bending the wheel of illness into wellness, bending the wheel of health parity into health equality and awareness, bending the wheel of poverty into prosperity, and bending the wheel of pessimism into a culminating rainbow of optimism and hope. You can have fame and fortune, but what good is any of it if you do not have good health and wellness? Through prevention and wellness, we prevent and reduce pain, suffering, morbidity, and mortality. Through prevention and wellness, we give life to all Georgians by simply improving the quality of life. I'm Dr. Thad, your doctor to the community, specializing in all of you. Together we shall be better, we shall be healthier, and we shall be well. I stand with you in a strong effort to promote prevention and wellness for all Georgians as you unselfishly give of yourselves to govern the great state of Georgia, where everything that is good for humanity is possible.
Are there any unanimous consents? Any senator wish to rise on a point of personal privilege? Recognize senator from the 49th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. I'm going to be brief. I know we've got a lot of bills to get to, but tomorrow is World Down Syndrome Day, and some of you guys have on some crazy socks that to celebrate that. But I've got a couple special guests with me this morning. One of them is not a stranger to the chamber. Cohen Eccles, mine and Shelley's son. He's sitting back there in the corner. Cohen, will you raise your hand? Throw your hand up. All right, and so Cohen is, thank y'all. And his friend, Miss Emma Clark, she's sitting back there. She is the daughter of Mr. Corey Clark and Miss Dixie Clark. She's here with us They're very special people, and y'all are going to see some of these folks all around the Capitol today. Just smile at them, shake their hand, give them a hug. I promise you there's going to be a lot of hugs given out in the hallway. So thank y'all. I appreciate everything you guys do, and just look forward to getting home this afternoon. See y'all.
Senator from the 28th, would you like to do it from there? Senator from the 32nd, point of personal privilege.
Colleagues, I have breaking news for you today from the wonderful city of Marietta, Georgia. Yesterday, Mayor Thunder Tumlin, who many of you know from previous service down here, announced that Arthur Blank's expansion franchise for the National Women's Soccer League is going to locate their practice facilities on Franklin Gateway in Marietta. We already have the Atlanta United facilities in that area, and this is going to be a big deal for Marietta. The site was originally sold to IKEA. The company decided not to build the store there, so Marietta bought it back. And now between Mayor Tumlin and Arthur Blank, we're also going to get a new park out of it. So I'm very excited about the new women's soccer team that's coming to Marietta, and look forward to telling y'all more as it develops. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield.
Recognize the senator from the 21st. Senator, we're waiting on you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate. Today I rise with great pride to recognize a truly remarkable Georgian, Mr. Robert A. Banks of Cherokee County. And today it is my honor to present a Senate resolution recognizing and commending him for his many years of dedicated service to his community and to the state of Georgia. Bob Banks is the kind of man who represents the very best of our state. For decades he has been a steady, positive force in his community, someone who has given his time, his wisdom, and his heart to the people around him. His contributions to Cherokee County's civic, economic, and social life have helped shape a stronger, more connected community for generations. But beyond all of his accomplishments, what truly sets Bob apart is something far more personal. Bob Banks never forgets a name. You can meet him once, and 10 years later, he'll greet you like an old friend. That simple, genuine act speaks volumes about the kind of man he is. He sees people, he values people, and he makes everyone feel welcome. That gift of remembering, of connecting, of caring is rare, and it is powerful. Throughout his life, Bob has mentored others, lifted others up, and led not just with words, but by example. His devotion to faith, to family, and to community reflects the very values we strive to uphold in this chamber and across the great state of Georgia. His legacy is not just what he has done, but in the countless lives he has touched along the way. Today, it is only fitting that we pause to honor a man whose life has been defined by service, integrity, and kindness.
Mr. President, I ask that this body join me in recognizing and commending Mr. Robert A. Banks and in thanking him for a lifetime of making Georgia a better place. Thank you. Mr. President, I yield the well.
Good to have you here, Mr. Banks, and we appreciate all your contributions to your community there. Thank you, Senator from the 21st, for sharing that. Senator from the 28th, you ready? The well is yours.
Excuse me for making the noise. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Oh my, Mayor, you might as well stay up there because I needed you down here. But thank you, Mr. President. Today is a great day in Georgia. We have our leaders and members of the city of South Fulton here today. Yeah. It's a young city with a bold vision. It was incorporated in 2017. South Fulton is a modern, forward-thinking city committed to smart growth, innovation, and leadership, driven by its community. And most of you know all about it because we worked for 3 years trying to get a city called the City of South Fulton. And I gave my blood, sweat, and tears, so I feel like a proud mama right now. The city's rich mix of cultures and backgrounds create a vibrant inclusion environment that enhances everyday life and strengthens community connections. Strategic location for economic growth. It has a community that cares. And the City of South Fulton residents are deeply engaged, showing pride in their neighborhoods through their civic involvement, local events, and a shared vision for the city. Abundant green space. In fact, we're probably have the most undeveloped land in all of Fulton County for sure, and maybe most of the metropolitan Atlanta area. So come to South Fulton if you have something quality you want to bring us. I'd like to introduce to you in the gallery the mayor of South Fulton, Mayor Carmelita Gums, everyone. Hey, you can give her a hand. And Council Member J.C. Sebastian. There's about 8, he's taller than Senator Mangum. And Natasha Williams Brown, our city councilwoman. She's my city councilwoman. And we have the city manager of the city of South Fulton in the white up there. You want to raise? And then all the members of the city of South Fulton that's upstairs, please raise your hand. Stand up, and let's give them a warm Senate welcome. So thank you, Mr. President. We are very excited today, and we have food downstairs if you want to come and taste it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Recognize the Senator from the 24th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, we in the short rows now. We're running out of time, but I need your help, all of y'all. The Georgia Sportsman's Caucus, we are having raffle tickets, and we'd love for each one of you to buy a raffle ticket, and we extend the love to the staff and to the lobbyists that they can, y'all can buy tickets too. Mr. President, we extending the love to you that you can buy a raffle ticket for the Georgia Sportsman Caucus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And also that this is a good need. We're trying to buy a trailer to be able to carry around the vehicles, the machines to be able to take wheelchairs where disabled people can go in the woods and have a good time in the woods.
How much is the trailer?
A ticket is $100.
No, I asked how much is the trailer?
We don't have but $150.
I asked, well, how much is the trailer there, Senator? I didn't ask for the ticket. So.
The trailer's somewhere in the neighborhood of, I say, around 10,000.
Well, why don't we figure out something with the trailer there?
And then also, let me say, the Senate won last year.
We always win, Senator.
So, we send it. I'm reaching out to you with love, asking you to get some tickets from me. Thank you.
Senator from the 14th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise this morning to wish all Muslim communities in Georgia an Eid Mubarak, a happy end of the month of Ramadan, which is the holiest month of the calendar in Islam. Today is a day for celebrating an end of a period of self-reflection, God consciousness, and self-improvement. It's actually forbidden to fast today, but Muslims have been fasting for, thank you, Mr. President. Muslims have been fasting for the last month in adherence to these principles, and just wanted to make sure that the state of Georgia recognizes this important holiday. Eid literally means feast or festival in Arabic, and so Muslims all over the state with their friends and neighbors will be celebrating the end of this holy month. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Does any other senator wish to rise on a point of personal privilege? You have before you a consent calendar of privilege resolutions. Does any senator wish to remove a resolution from the consent calendar? Is there objection to the adoption of the resolutions on the consent calendar? Chair hears none. Resolutions on the consent calendar are adopted. Are there any motions to withdraw or commit? You have before you a consent calendar of local bills. Mr. Secretary, have there been any objections been filed for any of the bills on the calendar?
No objections have been filed, Mr. President.
Is there objection to agree until the report of the committee on the state and local governmental operations, which is favorable to the passage of the bills on the local consent calendar? Chair hears none. And the report of the committee is agreed to. Question is on the passage of the bill on the local consent calendar. All those in favor will vote yea, opposed nay. Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 44, the nays are 0. The bill on the local consent calendar, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Senator from the 14th, for what purpose do you rise?
Mr. President, I rise to make a motion. I would ask unanimous consent that the rules of the Senate be suspended to allow the senator from the 46th to wear jeans.
Oh, me. So, is there objection to that motion? Well, hearing none, I guess we'll.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm glad you did that, Senator. I appreciate that. Your parliamentary skills are unmatched. Recognize the Majority Leader.
Mr. President, ask unanimous consent that HB 1261 be engrossed.
Secretary, read the caption.
House Bill 1261 by Representative Studden of the 72nd and others, a bill to be entitled and add to amend Part 1 of Article 2 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to tax exemptions so as to provide for Level 1 Freeport exemptions for certain goods in inventory for electric utilities, to provide for application for such exemptions, to provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Mr. President, that completes the order.
The Majority Leader has moved to ask for unanimous consent on HB 1261 to be engrossed. Is there objection? There is objection. We'll just put it on the board here. All those in favor of the Majority Leader's motion will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the motion to engross, the yeas are 29, the nays are 19, and this motion has prevailed. Moving on to the rules calendar. Secretary read H.R. 251.
House Bill 1268 by Representatives Burchett of the 176th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend the official code of Georgia annotated so as to revise, modernize, correct errors or omissions in, and reenact the statutory portion of said code as amended in furtherance of the work of the Code Revision Commission, to repeal portions of said code or acts and amendment thereof, which have become obsolete, have been declared to be unconstitutional, or have been preempted or superseded by subsequent laws, to codify principles of law derived from decisions of the state Supreme Court, to provide for other matters relating to revision, reenactment, and publication of said code, to provide for effect in event of conflicts, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Judiciary recommends that this bill do pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Strickland, the 42nd District Chairman. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Senators from the 44th, you have your line on.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 22nd. Business inside the Capitol.
Without objection, the senator from the 22nd is excused. Recognize the senator from the 50th to speak to the measure. Senator from the 50th. Senator from the 50th. You're on, babe. The floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Every year we pass a bill to revise the official code of Georgia to correct errors. A team works on it year-round. This is the code revision bill, and I ask for your favorable consideration.
No questions, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the will.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? Chair hears none. Is there objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? Chair hears none. The main question is ordered. The question is on the passage of the bill. All those in favor will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 45, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Moving on to H.R. 1050. Secretary, read the caption.
House Resolution 1050 by Representatives Green of the 154th and others, a resolution authorizing the conveyance of certain state-owned property in Clayton County, authorizing the lease of certain state-owned property in Dawson County, authorizing the conveyance of certain state-owned property in DeKalb County, authorizing the lease of certain state-owned property in Troup County, to provide an effective date, to provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on State Institutions and Properties recommend that this bill do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted. Senator Harbison, Chairman. Mr. President, The Committee on State Institutions and Property offers the following amendment to House Resolution 1050, a resolution authorizing the conveyance of certain state-owned property in Clayton County, authorizing the lease of state-owned property in Dawson County, authorizing the conveyance of certain state-owned property in DeKalb County, authorizing the lease of certain state-owned property in Dougherty County, and for other purposes. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Recognize the Dean of the Senate, Senator from the great city of Columbus.
President, the bill I have right here before you, the resolution, simply deals with the annual department bill from state properties, and the amendments are some key changes made, about 3 involving Floyd County, 2 in Floyd County, and 1 in Troup County. It's the annual bill, been cleaned up and filtered by the House and the Senate on our side of the aisle. Some concerns came from the senator from the 19th, and we dealt with that, and it's a clean bill before you. No other question, Mr. President. I yield the well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Could be your last time in the well there, Senator. It's been a good run. Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? Chair hears none. Is there objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Question is on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to the adoption of the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? Chair hears none. The main question is ordered. Questions on the adoption of the resolution by substitute. All those in favor vote yea. All opposed nay. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the adoption of the resolution by substitute, the yeas are 46, the nays are 0. And this resolution having received requisite constitutional majority is therefore adopted by substitute. Secretary read H.R. 1051.
House Resolution 1051 by Representatives Green of the 154th and others, a resolution authorizing the granting of non-exclusive easements for the construction, operation, and maintenance of facilities, utilities, roads, and ingress and egress in, on, over, under, upon, across, or through property owned by the state of Georgia in Baldwin, Bartow, Bullock, Camden, Catoosa, Chattooga, Clayton, Colquitt, DeKalb, Emmanuel, Glenn, Habersham, Hall, Lawrence, McDuffie, Morgan, Oconee, Paulding, Peach, Talbot, Tift, and Walton counties, Georgia and Hamilton County, Tennessee, to provide for related matters, to provide for an effective date, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on State Institutions and Properties recommend that this bill do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Harbison of 15th District Chairman.
Senator from the 41st, for what purpose you rise?
Ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 44th, the 22nd, and the 36th.
44th, 22nd, and 36th. Without objection, they're excused. Secretary, continue.
Mr. President, the Senate Committee on State Institutions and Property offers the following good substitute to House Resolution 1051, a resolution authorizing the granting of non-exclusive easements for the construction, operation, and maintenance of facilities, utilities, roads, and ingress and egress in, on, over, under, upon, or across, or through property owned by the state of Georgia in Baldwin, Bartow, Bullock, Camden, Catoosa, Chatham, Chattooga, Clayton, Colquitt, DeKalb, Emmanuel, Glenn, Habersham, Hall, Lawrence, Long, McDuffie, Morgan, Muskogee, Oconee, Paulding, Peach, Talbot, Tift, and Walton counties, Georgia and Hamilton County, Tennessee, to provide for related matters, to provide for an effective date, to repeal conflicting laws for other purposes. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Recognize the Dean of the Senate.
This is simply the companion resolution to the previous bill and deals with easements of state-owned property. There were some key changes in our committee that was dealt with to the satisfaction of our committee and passed unanimously out of committee to this body. If there are no questions, Mr. President, I yield the well.
You have a few questions,
All right,
Dean.
Mr. President. Yes, sir.
They're all loving questions, I'm
Let's
quite
do it.
certain. Recognize Senator from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, you yield?
Yes, sir.
Senator, is it not true that this is the last bill to come out of your committee for this year?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
And is it not true that I have had the honor of serving as your vice chair for, I believe, now almost 10 years in the Senate?
Yes, sir, and I've had the honor of having your company there and your guidance on several issues.
Well, Senator, I think if you'll yield for another question, I don't think that the honor has definitely not been yours. It's been all of ours. And on behalf of the 55 colleagues who serve with you, I want to say thank you so much for your decades of service to our chamber, for your decades of service as this committee chair, and just for your overall kindness in everything you do, whether the member be of the majority party, the minority party. You have been a class act. You will be a hard act to follow, and we're all better people because we got to serve with you.
Well, thank you, sir, for your kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. It's a high honor for me of my life to serve with you guys. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, you have a couple
I
more
yield
questions.
the well if there are
Senator.
no other questions.
Recognize Senator from the 29th.
Well, I don't think I want to yield to the 29th. He carry a badge sometime, I think. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Yield?
I do.
Senator, is it not true that for the past almost 40 years you and I have been friends?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Is it not true that once I came into this chamber you became a mentor and someone who advised me on when I didn't get mad enough and when I got too mad?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the way it should be done when you're trying to do things in an honorable way and reach a conclusion for the best thing that's good for the citizen, not only of Muskogee and Harris, but of the entire state.
Senator, for the yield?
Yes, sir.
Senator, is it not true that you and I never let the obstacles that seem to impact other people's friendships impact mine and yours?
Yes, sir.
Through the many years that we've been friends.
That's absolutely true. Yes, sir.
And is it not true that we're going to remain friends long after?
Absolutely. That's my intentions. Although you test me sometimes.
Yeah. And is it not true that the most important person in both of our lives were our mothers?
Amen.
And they
Amen.
raised us to be the men we are, and that's another relationship that you and I will carry forward for as long as the Lord allows us to live on this planet.
Well, there's no doubt I really appreciate the way you perform, your dedication to your job, and your service to your constituency in the 29th, and the direction you take from your wife, Teresa.
That's right, as you did from yours.
Absolutely.
When she was here with you.
Absolutely.
Well, possibly breaking protocol, but I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your mentorship. I want to thank you for being available at the times that I called you, whether the sun was out or the moon was out. You were always there for me, and I will always, always be appreciative of your friendship, your leadership, and being my brother. Thank
you. God bless. Thank you I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words, all of you. It's been my absolute pleasure to serve here with this great body. It's none other like it, and you'll do well in life and the things you contemplate. Pray, work hard, and have faith, because hope is the eternal thing that we draw from. Keep hope alive, as they said. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I yield the well.
Senator from the 31st. Majority Leader, what purpose you rise?
Mr. President, since this esteemed senator left the well, I do want to make one comment, Mr. President, as a point of order, that is it not true that I know one of the most fascinating things about this leader's life, I think we found in common since I've come to the Senate, is your service in the United States Marine, being a Purple Heart recipient like my father, and serving during Vietnam, in one of the most challenging times in American history. And I just want to say thank you for your service, not to the state, but to America. What you've done for kids like me and my dad, we will never forget it. And I also like just about, as much music as you, and we will never forget your voice.
Senator from the 22nd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Point of order.
State your order.
Mr. President, it's not true that Senator has been a great friend not only to myself but to this caucus, to this body, that he embodies everything that was right about the Georgia State Senate. And not only that, he has dedicated his life to public service, and that our charge from this point forward will be to make sure that we continue to operate this body in a way that honors him and similar people such as himself, that still honors that handshake deal, still honors saying, hey, this is my word, this is what I'm going to do, and still always honors the decorum of this body to make sure it continues beyond our tenure, to make sure it continues to represent the best of Georgia. Is that not correct, Mr. President?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, again.
Not a final man. Is there objection? Previous question being ordered. Chair hears none. Previous question is ordered. Question is on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to the adoption of the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? Chair hears none. The main question is ordered. Questions on the adoption of the resolution by substitute. All those in favor signify by voting the yea switch. All those opposed, nay. Secretary will unlock the machine.
On the adoption of the resolution by substitute, the yeas are 46 and the nays are 0, and the nays 0. The resolution having received the prerequisite constitutional majority is therefore adopted by substitute and is my bill. Don't ever forget that. Thank you.
Well, they don't get any better than the Dean of the Senate now, I can tell you that. I've been down here a long time, and there's not a better man walking these halls. And so we greatly appreciate your service, your friendship, and everything. The great thing about being able to compliment you is it is all true, you know. And a lot of times you get down here, people say all these nice things, and other people are whispering under their breath. Not with this guy. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. They don't get any better than Ed Harbison. Fine gentleman, just a prince of a guy, and you'll be missed, but you're the best, and we appreciate it. We're going to stand at ease for a few minutes. The governor is going to be signing the gas tax relief bill. And so we're here in a little bit, so we're going to stand at ease, and then we'll get back started as soon as we finish with the governor and the speaker. So you stand at ease.